Hello, and welcome to the very tardy 5 years in the making project. To be honest, this particular pickup wasn't even filmed in the same year as the rest of this video. The reason? Fairly poor time management on my part. The title for this project has been hotly debated, but despite the turbulence, there's one title that just refuses to go down. Forgot the poles for my hammock stand. I'm just glad I remembered them before I was, greater than 2 blocks away.
It's Friday. It's the 15th, and we're finally getting out of the driveway.
A narrator crawls into view.
Scrape, rattle, and roll receiving, over.
All right, here we go. It's time to roll on out. Here comes our vacation. We're starting. Yay.
I'm leaving this parade. I only kind of know where I'm going. Over.
Creators of the Moon National Monument.
Correct.
We're off.
Correct.
I got it on nav. I will lead.
Brian's leading. We're only about an hour late.
Here we go.
We're actually leaving town. We're making it.
From humble residentia, the rally began.
Don't have my refrigerator with me. Decided I'm just gonna go cooler and ice for the little bit of refrigerated stuff I need, and shelf stable otherwise. I don't really have space for my refrigerator. It's beautiful out here. It's about 80 degrees. The light's good. There's no wind. Too much traffic.
Currently, it is me in the lead as navigator, because I am just that good at Googling stuff. Followed by Carbon Gurkha, the Victory Red Crumple Zone, and Ruby Roamer as the caboose. I've gotten to the point now, we've been driving for about 45 minutes. All the running to prepare to leave today is over. Now I'm really freaking tired.
Please go faster.
Please go faster. Hobby Topper, 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 please go faster.
Viewers, we have here the elegant, the wonderful, the amazing Subaru Crosstrek. Doesn't sit on the ground. You can sit in a chair without leaning down. It has wonderful ball tires, which make it a little more difficult to run, and it's packed to the gills. There is no room for anything, but this is the amazing Ruby Roamer. Everyone wants a Ruby Roamer.
This is what I've brought. Carbon Gurkha, a 2003 Jetta TDI daily driver. Slightly dirty. Recently had a new turbo installed, so it's got a lot more go now, which is very nice.
Go from 35, Brian.
Sweet go. Yeah, you also full. All the way to the top. And then my co-pilot. This is a workaholic rabbit. We are a matched pair.
All right, so I brought this, the Victory Red Crumple Zone, a 2006 Chevy Silverado with a sawed-off 350 under the hood. A very pitiful V6 with quite the capacity for being both useful and useless at the same time. It is packed to the brim on the inside of the cab with all camping gear. It's got two check engine lights that like playing peekaboo all the time, the airbag and the check engine light. So who knows how far this vehicle will go? We'll find out.
This is what I brought. This is a 2013 Subaru Impreza Sport Premium. Not that the trim really matters that much because there's absolutely no more performance mods that can be made for this particular engine. It is a manual transmission. It is very low to the ground because I suspect the previous owner chopped the springs. Either that or it just needs replacement. In either case, it rides considerably lower than stock. It has a hammock stand on the top as well as components in the cab. It's also got a solar generator as well as a refrigerator, which is currently filled to the brim with maybe not the most exciting but nutritious foods, as well as a disproportionate amount of caffeine. We'll see how far this thing gets before it puts a hole in its oil pan.
It's the next day, and we're at Craters of the Moon Park. It's pretty cool up here though. Loving it, loving it, loving it.
We are on the roll. It is currently just shy of 11 o'clock. I'd be curious to see really how this all pulls together given the sort of inconsistent footage time frames.
Good place to camp. It was really awesome to have the stars in panorama while laying in my hammock last night. Stands are a resounding success.
So now we are in Arco, Idaho, just a few miles down the road. And apparently it was the first city in the world to be lit by atomic power. We just stopped to pick up some supplies we found that we were missing from this morning's escapades and breakfast making.
Just visited Dragonfly Tarps in Arco. Might be an option for getting a tarp made for the tarp tent thing that Brian and I are designing.
There we are on our way to the Big Lost River to look for garnets. We had a problem. This problem in particular has to do with land access. The problem is it is restricted by the government for whatever reason. It didn't really specify by which branch of government or for what purpose, but it's restricted. No public access. Just trying to find a compromise that Marmot would accept, and she just said, let's move on. So we're going to Lone Pine because we were planning on eating lunch wherever, we were stopping to hunt garnets, but that's clearly not going to work.
We stopped to eat at Birch Creek. Tried to go to a place to get geodes, but the specifications that the Forest Service gave us put us on INEL, which is Nuclear Testing Plant. So what the heck did they know? We couldn't get on. They surveillanced that area with helicopters. I don't know if they'll shoot you, but we didn't want to go there. So we played in the creek. Everybody got a wishing stone.
Made an interesting discovery in talking to both Jared and Marmot. And it turns out the carnivore is the only one that's not having steak for dinner tonight.
The proof is in the prime rib.
We're gonna share. We're gonna share. It'll be fine.
There's rain. We haven't seen that in months, but it's kind of a big thunderstorm right here.
Got 4 monsters, 1 root beer left, eggs, liquid carton, guacamole, and some withered hopes and dreams in the bottom of my cooler. Alright, I thought we were gonna stop and shop. Screw you!
Headed up towards Salmon. Got cloudy, a little bit of rain. Cooled off about 30 degrees. It's pretty darn pleasant now. It's taken us all day to go this far, but that's fine. That's the point of this, is to wander our way up here. I'd actually like to come back and make a longer trip of this. Explore all these little roads and stuff along here.
We are approaching Twin Creek Campground, which is our destination for night number 2. I'm just really hoping a logging truck doesn't come barreling down this side of the road, because I'm going to get screwed.
And thus, the scouting operation for a suitable respite for our weary travelers had commenced.
Free and clear. Do y'all remember those water spigots that you used to have in the hallways at school? Well, our campsite is perched right next to a wonderful spigot with considerable water pressure. So, for your consideration, I propose a commercial idea. It's called the Teeth Cleaner Lobotomizer 5000. I'll be taking bids October 25th if you're interested in pursuing this commercial idea.
Good morning, viewers. It's day 2, and I had a fairly restful night of sleep. About 3 o'clock this morning, we had a big thunderstorm. Not a violent one, but a big and noisy one. We found a... Perfect. There's almost nobody here. Update on my truck. The airbag and the check engine light are back on. It is now 12 o'clock, and we have yet to move from the camp, so...
We are leaving Twin Creek Campground, Site 8. Great place. Almost a rainforest. Got rained on last night. Got rained on as we were setting up. Would not mind coming back to this spot again. It's beautiful in here. It was quiet, except for the thunderstorms. Now we're on to Missoula. We gotta make some stops at stores. Marmot wants some totes, which are the way to go as far as car camping is concerned. We all need to go to the grocery store. I would like to hit a sporting goods store. I'm contemplating getting a fishing outfit. That would be really awesome.
I'm guessing we're about 20 miles outside of Missoula. We've just discovered that Marmot's speedometer may be wildly inaccurate. I'm currently going just barely over 70, and her speedometer is registering 78. I'm tempted to believe my speedometer over hers because the flow of traffic indicates that we are going just slightly slower than everybody else. And as we know, everybody travels very slightly more than the speed limit, so...
Again. Guess where? Walmart. La. Hi, we're at Walmart in Missoula. Bye.
Going to a restaurant in Missoula is getting even closer to dinner time, as it is now 4 in the afternoon, and all of us are getting hangry after our late start. We only left Twin Creek, Idaho campground about noon, and we kept getting stuck behind people that don't know what a speed limit is. You all should join us in creating the cult of the long and skinny pedal. Awfully twisty road back there. It was so much fun.
Clicking getting more intense, Jared?
It is. I'm also noticing that it's sensitive to which direction I happen to be turning at the moment. Over.
Think you got a loose knuckle or something?
I think it's the knuckle. I think it's where the axle is attached to the transmission. Over.
What kind of tools would you need to get into there?
I need a crescent wrench or something. I can undo a couple of big bolts to get the belly pan off. And then some Allen keys to tighten up those bolts that attach the axle to the transmission. Over.
I have Allen keys. I don't know about crescent wrench.
Headed to a campground by some lake in Montana. It's been quite a production. We tried to help a 40-foot trailer get into a squeeze spot. Finally they gave up. Moved all our cars. Tried to help. Nothing helped. So we're all stuck.
Good morning, viewers. We had trouble finding a camp spot last night because it was super busy despite being a Sunday. I watched a fist fight happen between two dog owners. One dog went over to another campsite's dogs, and then the owners got in each other's faces, and one of them was a young guy telling an older couple to get out of his face, to no, stop, don't, you know, all those other things. Guy wouldn't back off, and so I watched two elderly couple get knocked the heck out. This backyard road trip of Idaho has actually been really interesting, and I'm not much of an outdoorsy person anymore.
We are waiting again for Dottle 1 and Dottle 2 to get done. We're supposed to be out of this camping spot. The little cleaning guy comes around every 5 seconds to make sure we're not still here. We've changed the air filter in the white Opel truck car. We've thrown things at each other and looked at rocks. And Robert's replied, just another rock. Anyway, hopefully we'll get somewhere now.
We are getting ready to pull out of this campsite, which is Placid Lake, and make tracks for Great Falls so we can go see Grandpa.
Site 33, Placid Lake, Montana. Can't say I'm that impressed with this campground. It's really dense with people. The sites are small, close together. The lake is really beautiful. And it has showers. They're pay showers, but it has showers. We didn't have to set ours up last night.
Glorious day, August 18th. Got the troops in a line here, but we have a problem. Today is the day for mechanicals, I guess. I just replaced my air filter, and while we were pulling out, Jared stopped to have a look-see at his engine, and apparently there's like no oil in his engine.
There's oil in it, but it's low.
Do you just have this one quart?
No, I've got more. I've got another one of these.
At some point today, we may consider stopping so we can get more oil.
Yeah, if it's going through oil that quickly, I'm gonna need to stop and have some more with me. Again, from placid lake. Just parked and checked my oil, wasn't showing any, and when I had the valve cover open, I'm getting what feels like huge amounts of blow by, but I don't know how much is normal for this engine, so I need to keep a closer eye on my oil situation, and I might be staring down the barrel of an engine rebuild.
I'm not gonna get my wish. My check engine light, driving dynamics, and no cruise control lights all just turned on. Current theory is that my ECU is currently trying to reckon with the sudden influx of air as a result of my changing of the air filter. Either that, or I inadvertently damaged my upstream O2 sensor when I was dicking around with that air filter. I don't know. We're to Sinclair to get gas.
Jim's house and Aunt Betty. We made him happy to go and visit. It's been a long time since I've seen that man. He's aged quite a bit, mellowed quite a bit even from the time I knew him, and I've not known him well or particularly long, but this was a good stop. I need to get up here again. I need to get another road trip organized and get out. I need to get out more in general. This is as good a place as any to go. A little bit hard to leave, actually.
Just left Grandpa Jim's place. We are headed for something cave campground, mountain cave campground or something like that. It is 5:45, and it's going to be an hour and 40 minutes to get up there. It's very hot. I cleaned my mass airflow sensor and it did not immediately kill my check engine light, so I really miss my cruise control.
Clark National Forest on a back road that looked like it got bombed before we got here. It's bear country, and it's pretty wild and primitive, and I'm not looking forward to driving back out on this road. It is horribly potholed. Beautiful country though. If you like the scenery, it's great. Some of the most magnificent mountains and hills and interesting shapes. But again, the road is a big deterrent. I can't imagine dragging a trailer through here. He'd probably bounce off the hitch.
Arriving at the end of the bumpy road of Babylon, the group unasked and set to erecting the accommodations. Groggily.
Here we are one more time, waiting. It's almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and the dawdler is still sitting there writing in his book, so we wait.
Out of Cave Mountain Campground. So far, this is my favorite. It's a little buggy, but the views are stunning. It's quiet, there's no traffic. It's not super densely packed, and even if it were, it's not actually that busy. I could come up here and stay here for a few days pretty easily. No drama this morning, but a slow start.
Jared was really dragging his feet, which, you know, I don't blame him. He was talking about perceiving healing, which, you know, is understandable when you're out communing with nature.
I actually got breakfast this morning instead of just garbage food off the passenger seat as I drive.
The goal, still loosely, in my understanding, is that we're going to try and get to Glacier National Park. It's quite late, though. It's 1:15 now. So it's entirely possible that it's closed by the time we get there.
Yeah, last one was like Hiroshima Boulevard. Like, dropped a bunch of bombs on it before we got there. This is much nicer.
Southwest, kind of west by southwest. We're heading along the southern portion of Glacier National Park. Matter of fact, I can see it right there. And then we're going to make a turn to be more northwest towards Kalispell. But hey, my check engine light turned off. Now I have cruise control.
Actually, we're not in the park. We're skirting the south edge of the park, and the mountains are really sharp. And even it being August, the end of August, there's still snow on a lot of them. So, like early winter, more snow.
We opted not to go into the park, mostly because it would be an in and out. The only road across the park is one that we're not certain we'll be able to traverse. So yeah, we're on our way to Kalispell. I'm tired today.
We ate at a place called Agave. Pretty good Mexican food. Reminded me a lot of El Jarro's in Gasper. Anyway, now we're going to look for a place to sleep because we're all pooped.
McGregor, I believe. McGregor campsite. My understanding is half of it's RV, the other half is like dispersed camping, so... Yeah, 34 minutes away. Hopefully it's even a little less than that. I would be okay with that.
So we've made it to our campground. I don't remember the name of it. Something lake, like McGregor Lake. And all of the other ones I did without sound, you didn't want to hear what I had to say because it was probably rude.
Good morning, viewers. A few things I want to show you are what I brought to contribute to the trip on the haul. This right here is our portable shower rig. We've got my battery bank currently powering it, a power cord that comes up and runs a 12-volt RV pump. To the other side of this, where we have the inlet and the outlet and the propane line in. And then I have this instant hot propane water heater. You can just turn it on and off, and you set the temperature with those two bottom knobs to a shower head, which I disconnected because we were currently doing dishes. Shower extender to hook up around this knob right here. And then I have this explosion proof flashlight.
La 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 la, shower time!
I have a very serious subject to talk about, and it is about the one thing I refuse to go on a trip without.
McGregor Lake Campground. Honestly, sized campground, but the highway wraps around it, which means you get road noise all night. And it's not just cars driving by, they're driving around you. Feels slightly better today. Didn't sleep as long as I needed to, but slept better. And we're getting a much earlier start. It's only 10:30 instead of 1:30. It's not hot yet.
We're going to be making a more northerly heading towards Libby and Troy, and then a further northerly towards the Canadian border.
First casualty. Big old truck went by with those big balloon tires and put a hole in my windshield. Double stars even. Gonna have to replace a windshield. Not happy about it.
And 32 miles later, we are here at the Canadian border. This is Canada. At least that far hillside, that's Canada. This officially marks the halfway point, guys. Woo! So what do we do now?
I went and dipped my head in the Moyi River right at the border.
Campground just outside of the entryest into Canada and the United States.
And just about illegally crossed into Canada.
And we ended up climbing up on this huge mountain, looking at cool rocks, and imagining how far we could throw a Frisbee disc. Pretty nice place.
Even though it's listed on my map as a campground, has no camping, day use only. So this area, at least for camping, is a bust, but it must be said, this is a very cool little area, this little grotto. I took some pictures of the lake, just totally blanketed in lily pads. I've never seen a lake totally covered in lily pads before. That was pretty cool. It is becoming a trend whenever we do one of these trips. I always end up needing some level of time to myself. Not necessarily because I'm antisocial or anything, but just because, you know, just gotta have some personal time. I had sort of loose intentions of coming into Bonner's Ferry and trying to find some sort of baked goods I could bring back for the group, but I didn't end up doing that.
The campsite is actually really nice, beautiful in there, but it's a non-paid site, so of course it's going to attract the crazies. There's a couple on the opposite side of the campground who have been there apparently for a few days and apparently do nothing but fight with each other, yelling and screaming and swearing and all that nonsense. Now we're on the way to Tungsten Hill. Apparently you can go up there
find malachite?
Ta-da! Malachite.
We are very carefully getting back up and out of this forest road. That was something scraping against the engine bay. Oh,
I've unplugged my mic back in. Whoopsie!
We just finished up here in Sandy Point doing laundry, getting drinks, doing a little bit of restocking. I think the next part is we're going to be looking for another campsite. So far it's been an interesting trip. Not as restful a trip as you would think a trip would be. For the second time this trip, the sheriff has been up there breaking up some sort of fight.
we are pulling out of Sand Point, Idaho, heading southwest towards Coeur d'Alene.
Once again, looking for a campsite. Just tried looking for one, Micah Lake Boaters Camp or whatever. If it's gated and closed, we can't get in there, and we're not 100% sure it's actually a campsite. Now we're headed to Red Tail, which by the pictures we see on the phone, appears to be on top of a hill, not too many trees, which means it might have some really nice, spectacular views. That would be nice. Probably won't need the tarps tonight. Because other than a little bit of dust haze, we have a severe clear going.
I didn't record it because I was so tired I wasn't really thinking straight, but last night we pulled into this campground, which is actually Hawley's Landing. It's a state park, and it has somewhat absorbent camp fees, partially because we're in a spot that has utilities. We didn't use any of the utilities, but this is the spot we landed because it was really convenient and nice. Because we got here like 8 o'clock last night, and because it's Friday, we need to try and land on a campsite really early, even if that means we don't go very far. So last night we were planning on aiming towards vaguely this campsite called Red Tail, and we didn't land on it because it would have been another hour out of our way, and we would have been setting up in the dark. It's currently 9 o'clock. We're about to cross back into Central Time. But we're gonna go to Red Tail, and we're gonna set up camp, and then we're gonna go mess around and do whatever, so that we have a campsite. We don't have to worry about trying to set one up or find one. And that's that.
Are we going yet? They have us on hold up. Over.
Though her mic is unplugged, the attitude still makes it onto camera.
Alright, Brian, roll.
If you hear from Marmot, she wasn't particularly happy with that place because of how high the fees were. Not a bad campground. The lake was beautiful as usual. But again, it's a state park. State park passes, it makes it really busy all the time. It's densely packed. Yeah. The only real benefit you gain from going to a campsite would be a fire ring. And honestly, while campfires are awesome and I love having them, they're not necessary. So, the hammock stand and the ability to sling a hammock wherever I want, there's a lot more possibilities than I had before.
Saw it running. I didn't know you guys had hit it because it was running. No, Jared got it. Hit, flap, swirl, swirl, swirl across the road into the ditch.
Got some drama this morning. We're driving to Red Tail. Jared hit a coyote. Somehow I totally avoided it. I didn't even see it. And Robert was so fixated on what he hit, he almost hit Jared too.
I'm awake now.
So Jared peeled off to go check on the coyote.
Didn't hit it super hard, but I knocked it over. Went back looking for it, didn't see it laying in the ditch anywhere, so it must have got up and kept going.
And that's where we're at.
Alrighty, folks, let's carry on. Over.
robust because that road back there is gated. Thankfully, we've had a lot of practice doing the tiny, tight mountain road turnarounds. So our plan has been revised. We're heading towards Grangeville. We have to go back the way we came, but heading back towards Grangeville.
Quick update. It's hot outside and the air is not moving. It is very hot.
So we blitzed Lewiston, and we are now on our way towards Riggins with the purpose of going to the Devil's Corral campground. We're just outside of Riggins, climbing back up in the hills to the Seven Devils campground, and I am really freaking climbing.
After grossly 17 miles of poorly graded dirt and gravel, they summited. The evidence of the many miles spread across 3 states and almost 2 countries was quite plain. The patina of the road infiltrated every crevasse and crease of the vehicles, and their drivers. And thus, the last day of the rally had begun.
Alrighty. We are pulling out of the Seven Devils Lake and Campground, and we are making tracks towards Boise.
As they returned down the dusty road, Nomad had some reflections to share.
Seven Devils Campground, and I have to say, I think it's probably the most remarkable, I don't know if it's most remarkable, but one of the most remarkable places I think I've ever been in the mountains. It is truly a stunning place. In fact, I'm scheming to see if perhaps the next week or 2, coming back up here to camp for a weekend. Since we're drawing to the end of our little trip here, talk about the car and the performance and how things have gone. Overall, very, very well. I have no issues driving down the highway, going up hills. This thing cruises. It's like a tank. Runs good. The air conditioner works good. It is very much a great road tripping car. My loadout needs to be adjusted. I brought more stuff than I really needed. I didn't need the whole box of rope. I didn't need the whole box of steaks. I didn't use most of my cooking gear because I just ate everybody else's food. Didn't eat most of my food. But I really want to do my cross-country road trip, get back over to the East Coast, go visit Joe, and further test my rig here. I don't think I'll ever really care to try to sleep in my car. I mean, it's strictly speaking possible. Would be fun, I think, maybe to pull the seats out, build a platform, and see if I can really make it work. Maybe go on a little shorty trip.
A little further down the road, Barge had some input about this trip as well.
And I gotta say, this has been a trip and a half. We went all the way up to the Canadian border, we went into Montana, a little bit into Washington, up the east side of Idaho, down the west side of Idaho. And soon we'll complete the loop. I think out of all of these campsites that we've been to, that the last one, the one we were just at, is probably among my favorite because one, it's away from the highway. You can't freaking hear Jake brakes at night. Finally, the check engine light is on. I think if we do this trip again, I hope that I have all the updates I wanted to do and all my camping gear squared away the way I want it, so that way it's considerably easier to go out and do this without a ton of hassle. Gonna update the shower so it's less of a pain in the butt to set up. I need a front engine seal on the front of this truck. Been drinking a little bit of oil. But we'll see if next year we can do another camping trip like this. Probably in some other places of Idaho we haven't been yet. And we'll see what happens there.
Ahead of the dust cloud, Gazz had some things to say.
This car is my favorite car. It's the best car I've ever owned. It ticks pretty much all of my boxes. It's manual, it's four-wheel drive, it's not a Ford. There's a few things I'd like to change about it. For example, the stereo is all kinds of messed up. It rides way the hell too low, and in suspension, it's done. It's absolutely got to be replaced. And I wish the engine had a little bit more guts. I mean, it's a 2.0 flat 4 naturally aspirated. I mean, there's not a lot of go there. As for how it performed on this trip, my fuel economy has been around about 32 and 33 mpg, which is pretty stinking good. I am definitely beating out Barge. I think my favorite part of this trip was the thunderstorms that we had on day 2. I need to change up my storage solution for my items, because while I did use essentially everything that I brought, it was all kind of in weird places, and I had to play Jenga every day to kind of like keep everything situated so I could still see and so things weren't shifting around too much.
As the mountains around Boise started to hove into view, Marmot was also chiming in. Oh, right. I'm not very good at lip reading. Idaho, rocks, traffic, I need new tires, Take bigs. Oh, right. I'm not very good at lip reading. Let's see. Idaho, just camera.
The trip officially ended yesterday.
I like rocks. Lots and lots of rocks.
When I go camping again tonight,
traffic.
just 'cause.
Lots of traffic. Just camera again.